one, you said she...
I just want to share my story, y'all.
Well, this
That's
last
it.
part, though.
And live it. Each day is a new day to start over.
Exactly. Then just take off this last... I mean, that's if you want to.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Make sure my, I am a creator. God called me to inspire others through hair. But this calling is much bigger than hair. It's more than a calling. It's my destiny. This is my life story. On this journey, I've been homeless, lost loved ones, and learned the true meaning of being a survivor. Instead of giving up, God took a chance on me, and I took that chance, and I decided to take the steps to pursue my dreams and admirations. Though this journey wasn't easy, I've had my ups and downs, but these things made me into the woman that you see today. I can say I'm living a life with no worries, no worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. As a child, I knew I had a calling. I didn't know what it was, but God had plans for me. At the age of 9, I knew I had a gift. I enjoyed playing with my toys, but I loved styling my doll's hair. I would roll their hair with rollers at night, anxious for the morning to come, intrigued by the process and the excitement of seeing what I created through hair. My best friend Timothy has always been there to support me. He would watch me do hair on my front porch. I recall sitting on my front porch on Lexington Place, and all my friends would be in line for me to style their hair. That's when I realized I had a calling. I was officially in business. I was 13 years old. I had a decent clientele. By 16, I was doing hair for my close friends and family members. I was in pursuit of my happiness and had the support system to back me up.
Hello, my name is Dominique Mobley. I am Melanie's older sister. There's Mel, myself, and 2 other siblings. None of us have had 9-to-5 jobs. So even to this day, there's no way she's gonna walk into anyone's door from 9 to 5. And so myself, our mother, we're all comfortable and like, girl, go do your thing. I almost feel like a mother to Melanee. I mean, she comes at me, Nikki, should we do this? Should we do that? And like I mentioned, more than anything, the first 2 words that come to mind when I think of Melanee, humble and creative. And so we both provided the same example to one another. Now, one interesting thing that I did notice is that I did Melanie's hair once on the step. I called myself being a hairstylist and put a weave in her hair. Put a weave in her hair for the first time. And I really like to think that ever since I did that, that may have sort of contributed to her saying, okay, well, maybe this is something I want to pursue full time, especially with me having no experience and probably like, well, darn, if my sister can do it, then I know I can make a career out of this.
It was such a blessing to have my mother there to support me. She made sure I never lost focus and stayed on the path that God set out for me. I was attending cosmetology school at night and working during the day. It wasn't easy, but I knew this was what I had to do. Honestly, it was a struggle, at times even embarrassing. My hair kit was far from light. I had no car. I was lugging around this heavy hair kit on the buses, trains, and even in cabs. At times, I would question, was this something that I really wanted to do? I loved doing hair, but was this the career that I wanted to continue to pursue? Then once I had a lifetime opportunity and I just knew this would be the job for me. Still attending cosmetology school at night, I started working for the Library of Congress. My first day, I was so excited. But when I walked through those doors, I knew this wasn't what I wanted to do. I couldn't stay focused. I would sit and stare at the walls, bored and unhappy. After working there for a few weeks, I talked to my mom and she said, "Melanee, you better master hair." I left and never looked back. I put all my focus back into hair. I finally graduated, but I didn't take my state board exam. I began working full-time with my sister in her clothing store, Unique Tees. Things were finally coming into place. I started dating my childhood best friend. What more could I ask for? Life was good, but I wasn't doing hair. Timothy would always ask why didn't I have my license and why wasn't I working in a salon? Why wasn't I working in a salon? What was I afraid of? Failure. One day out of nowhere, he called me and said, "I found a school where you can take your state board prep." I started crying over the phone. "Are you serious?" And he said, "Why wouldn't I be?" Months later, I passed my state board with a 100%. I started traveling the world, learning different hair techniques and styling clients from many walks of life. For 6 months, I had the opportunity to live in Japan. I can say I now know and understand the true meaning of a spiritual journey. I had a better connection to God. I could hear Him more clearly. I went from riding on the highways in the city of riding up to the Fiji mountains. I loved it. It was such an incredible experience. The people, the culture, it was so much different than how I was growing up in DC. My mother raised us to be original and to always follow our dreams. In DC, most people tend to follow the trends, and the people here were like me. I loved the fact that everyone was friendly and unique. I started reading more and elevating myself and my lifestyle. I had a calling, and with that comes change. God was leading me, and I knew I had to follow.
Now this is where it gets emotional. So, as I said before, Melanee's extremely confident, independent, and that combination had Melanee to explore. Now the scariest part of that was when she decided to go to Japan for a few months. I mean, you're talking about your favorite sibling going to a place you've never even been, a place where she doesn't even know anybody for 6 months. That part of travel was probably more difficult for me than it was for her. And she also, moved to a few other states, but after Japan, I was a little more at peace. I'm like, okay, well, she's done this before. God, she's in good hands.
After I read the book of Revelations one night, I knew that I had to change the way I lived my life. After I returned to the States from Japan, Timothy and I moved to Miami. We moved there on faith, and God was continuing to reveal Himself to me. We had money saved up, but we didn't have jobs laid out for us before we moved. There were times we had no choice but to sleep in our car and some days in the motel until we found a place to stay. As I was waiting for my Florida cosmetology license to come in the mail, I had no choice but to have faith. I can recall days when all I would do was pray all day and night, asking God to help us find a place to lay our heads. He answered our prayers. I received my license, we found a place to stay, and my career had finally begun. Once I started working at the hair cuttery in Miami, my career has only been growing. I left Miami, I relocated to the hair cuttery on the Eastern Shore. I worked in a few different salons, but hair cuttery had opened so many doors for me, and I'm still thankful for that opportunity. I moved back home to Washington, D.C. I am currently hosting my own hair and flare events. I have my own hair and skin products. I've worked with many other artists, photographers, and even political figures. I have finally found my passion in the hair industry. I will continue to motivate, teach, and help others in the industry and set trends. But I love hair art. I love to create styles that are attractive to the naked eye. With 10 years of experience, I continue to challenge my skills and push myself to the limit. I still have room to grow and improve my skills. In this industry, you must love it. I continue to live out my dreams. I am a prime example that dreams do come true. You don't have to stand behind the chair to make it happen. Write it down and live it. Each day is a new day to start over. I am living and following my dreams, my happiness.
All right, wait, come back. You want to boo. I didn't know you was going to go that fast. Which is fine, I just want to
Oh, I was super excited for her, and there was no reason that any school, well actually any hair salon, anyone, anywhere, should have denied that woman the opportunity to be there. And again, I cannot help but continue to say, as humble as she was, as sweet as she is, as experienced and creative, there's no reason for Melanee to be turned down of anything.
Even though, just a little bit, But I mean, it's your it's up to you.
No, I wanted to really,
I say give it like 10%.
10%.
Like, it ain't got to be like, oh.
Like looking at, you think I should like look at the phone a little bit?
Well, no, because that would call shadow.
Okay.
All right, whenever you go.
Hey, how are you?
At your eye contact with hair. Mike, do you like being filmed?
Avon Media. Michael Avon on the beat.